Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. So there's talk around the neighborhood that the Chameleon assault rifle is just a collector's item. It doesn't hit really hard and all of that. I slightly disagree, and I understand what it's like to dismiss, an exotic weapon when it first comes out. I was the one who dismissed the Diamondback immediately, and I said, if you go watch my Diamondback video, I said this weapon is going to stay in everybody's chest. I was right. I don't know anyone that's running their Diamondback right now. I got pushback for that. It's always crazy to be on the unpopular side of these opinions, and so I can understand. So whoever thinks that's the case, I'm not bashing your, I'm not bashing your build. I'm not bashing your stance. I'm just saying that there's evidence that actually goes otherwise. Now, I have someone made a comment here on the channel stating that their Chameleon is hitting for about 22,000. I've not been able to get mine that high, and I'm not interested in actually getting mine that high because I'm not going for a base damage Chameleon. If I was going to build, I wouldn't do that, okay? But if you wanted to get your damage high and you wanted to see how these numbers can actually stack up for you, then there are ways to go. It's not difficult, especially with this build currently. Before we get to gear 2.0, we can do some really creative stuff right here, if you understand what I mean. So let me give you guys a few pointers that you may have maybe missed out on, or ideas that you can use to actually increase the damage output of this particular weapon. For those of you who don't know, you get this from bounties. I made a video saying don't stop doing bounties, so that's how you go. Now, I just randomly put this mask on, but you can get masks that are far better, and you want to run a crit build with this weapon. That's what you want to do. The reason you want to do that is because of its talent. It has a talent that says adaptive instincts. If you can hit 30 headshots, it grants you 20% crit chance, 50% crit damage. So if you just add a little bit more crit, you'll be raising this thing all the way up to the 60% critical hit chance, max. And even still, the 30 headshots might be difficult to land, to be very honest. So you want to get yourself to somewhere like, maybe I would just say just a little bit of crit. I would recommend like 35 to 45% crit chance, and then that's it for me, because I'm banking on these 60 body shots to grant me much more damage. It's already there, built within the game. All you got to do is just empty like 2 mags. If you can't hit 60 shots within 2 mags, all right, then you must be worse than me, because everybody that plays this game with me, they know that I'm the worst shot in the game. But check out your Fenris chest pieces. The Frostcat breastplate, that breastplate can take up to 12.5% weapon damage, and Fenris itself currently in this build gives you 10% assault rifle damage. So don't ignore those perks. Don't ignore those additions that are actually there for you. Use them. You can also run in some chest pieces. You can run 2 assault rifle. You can run 2 offensive mod slots. The Wyvern chest pieces are actually quite notorious for this, and so is the 511. So because you're running a crit build, I will recommend using the Wyvern chest piece to do this, because you have the 2 offensive mod slots. You put 2 5%, well, it will go up to 6% if you have the 5% assault rifle, 1% weapon damage. If you put them in there, let me get this out of the stash. I kept this a while ago. Let's not worry about that. But if you put them right there in the offensive mod slots, you just added to yourself an extra 1 to 10% or 12% weapon damage. And then if you roll more weapon damage here, which you can get more on these Wyvern chest pieces. I don't know what the max is for Wyvern, but depends on the max that you own. That's pretty much what it is. Remember, they were selling these chest pieces like before TU6 in different vendors and clan vendors, and everybody was clan hopping. I clan hop, man. I didn't want to be on the back end when there were good stats out there. So you use these, or you use maybe a 511 chest piece. Let me see if I have a 511 chest piece in here just to show you guys. The 511 chest piece, the Tac-Light plate carrier version, actually also has 2 offensive mod slots. So if your weapon damage is still low, then you need to probably rework your build. That's where the opportunity is. The Hilligard holster, the Jackrabbit holster, also has 2 offensive mod slots, and so this is also capable of giving you an extra 12% weapon damage just by itself. Now you think about the 12% on your chest piece, plus maybe even if you do 12.5, your chest piece can be running you 24% weapon damage. This is running you an extra 10% weapon damage. And then if you add Fenris, which you can get Fenris in any of the 6 categories, which I would recommend that you do Fenris gloves, because they take 2 offensive mod. They can roll 2 offensive mod slots, and you can take one and roll that to assault rifle damage, and also benefit from the 10% assault rifle damage that Fenris gives you. Then your backpack is another opportunity. Good backpacks are also very challenging to find in this current build, and I keep saying in this build because Gear 2.0 comes out in a few weeks. And so you think about, you know, the possibility of rolling 10% weapon damage on your backpack. I have one that actually has that stat. I can't remember where I got it from. There are also some old Richard Kaiser backpacks that they were selling somewhere that came with 9% weapon damage. I think I have a couple of those too. I say a couple, like 12 of those. I bought a bunch of them, and they also give you 9%. So if you can't get the 10, the 9 is within reach. Keep farming. That's something that you can, you know, target and get that number without too much qualms. And then one thing I like about this particular backpack, the Hildegard inventory system backpack, not the Bighorn. This is Bighorn. Bighorn doesn't allow for you to roll an offensive mod slot. So if you're building with Bighorn, you build differently. Hila inventory system, if you're building with that, that gives you an advantage of the offensive mod slot and the defensive mod slot. But the offensive mod slot, you go ahead and, you know, throw in another 5% assault rifle damage, and guys and girls, you're sitting pretty, you know. And then you use your knee pads to, you know, top off the icing, and you have yourself a full damage build. There's nothing wrong with running a full damage build. You just have to know exactly where you stand. You get up close and personal, you land those 30 shots, you increase your weapon damage an extra 100%, and this weapon is going to be critting like crazy. Look again at the talents at this weapon. You know, you also, your mod slots also grant you some extra critical hit chance as well. So 15% just handed to you. So if you're worried about where you're going to get the 15%, like I said, you have Wyvern on your chest piece. If you use Wyvern, that already grants you, man, it's been a while since I messed with Wyvern, because DNH was what I was kind of working with. Wyvern will give you the 10% critical hit, the 7% critical hit damage if you run one piece, and then DNH will give you another 7% crit, 10% crit damage at the second piece. So you can piece these together in different fun ways and get your damage up, and you're not going to be lacking behind. So experiment with the weapon first. Let's give the weapon about a week. I guarantee you that there are people working on all kinds of builds, you know, to come up with something that's going to definitely blow people's minds. I'm sitting on 15K right now, and I don't even have, you know, all the damage mods that I've told you about in terms of how I've actually put it together. I'm not using a Wyvern chest piece. I'm not using the Fenris gloves like I explained. I'm not using the DNH, because that would be a whole different build, but that's not impossible to do. So I hope that helps you guys that are wondering if this weapon is actually worth getting. I think it is. Now, it's not going to replace your Eagle Bearer if you use the Eagle Bearer or your P416 plus Chatterbox combination. It is designed for a different play style. Even people with skill builds will benefit from that extra 100% base damage. Can you imagine running a skill build, and this weapon on the lowest will probably be running you like maybe 9K if you don't have any of these mods, and then getting that extra 100%, it would literally lift the damage like crazy, and you can then use your skills and other things. So please, let's be cautious before we underrate this weapon 100%. All right, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you very much for your time and audience. Peace out.